student. Today I am going to discuss about some exercise question of matter. Here is some questions, some objective and some subjective. The first question is, among the following, which property is absent in matter? We have already studied about the physical property. One is given, conductor of heat. So we know that metal is good conductor of heat and electricity. This is the property of metal. And here it is asking absent in matter. Which property is absent in matter? So this is present. It is hard. All metals are hard except sodium, potassium. Some metals are very soft. So this property is also the property of metal. Third is brittle. Brittle means it can break easily. This is not the property of metal. This is the property of non-metal. And the metals are non-brittle. So this one is absent in metal. Next also we will see ductility. That they can be drawn into wire. So ductile is what? That the metal can be drawn into wire. This is also the property of metal. So only C is absent in the what? Property which is absent in the metal. So C is the right choice. Among the following, which metal is found in the liquid state? What it is asking? Metal found in liquid state at normal temperature. So here lead is metal, mercury is metal, platinum is metal, but bromine is not metal. This both B and C is liquid at room temperature, but this is non-metal and this is metal. Question is asking the metal, so B is the right choice, that it is found in liquid state at room temperature. Among the following, which metal is harmful for our body? Which metal? We have studied in the classes that mercury and lead. These metals are harmful to our body. Let us see the choice, that lead, calcium, zinc and iron. Iron is useful, zinc is useful, calcium is useful, but lead is harmful for our body. A is the right choice. Metal can conduct electricity. Among the following, which is the main reason for this property of metal? The main reason of this property of metal for the conduction of electricity, that they have free electrons in the outermost cell. So here free electron is present in the metal. This is right choice. Capacity of the metal to gain the electron? No, they are not gaining the electron. Valence outer cell of metal atom. Valence outer cell of metal, what? Here it is not clear that valence electron present in the outermost cell, that is a free electron. So this is also not right. And the movement of metal atom. So A is the right choice of 4, that metal can conduct electricity because it has free electrons. So it can easily conduct the electricity. The next one is some subjective question is here, that answer the following questions. What are physical property of metal? What are physical property of metal? We have already studied that metals are hard, non-brittle, soronous, malleable, ductile, good conductor of heat and electricity, having high melting point and boiling point. All these are, it is showing the metallic luxure, and all these property are the physical property of the metal. So you have to only any two with example you have to write here. Any two you can write. It is malleable, it can be beaten into sheet. It is good conductor of electricity because it has free electron in the outermost cell. Like this you will explain this one. Write any three difference between the metal and the non-metals. Metals and non-metals. In the same way you can write, you can take the physical property also. Physical property, you start writing that it is hard, it is not hard. Metal are hard, non-metals are not hard. That it is brittle, it is non-brittle. Metals are non-brittle, metals are non-brittle, and non-metals are brittle. Like this you can write many things. Metals have high melting point and boiling point. Non-metals have low melting point and boiling points. The next question, like this you can explain any 5 from the topic already I have discussed in the during the teaching time. Iodine shines like metal but is not a metal. What is its basis? Iodine is shining like a metal, but it is not a metal, because the basis of metal is that metals are positively charged ion. By losing the electron, they are losing the electron from their valence shell, and they are forming the oxides, and they are basic in nature. But all these properties are absent in what? In the iodine, which is a non-metal. So it is shining, although it is shining like a metal, it is non-metal. Okay. Now, metals are good conductor of electricity. How can you prove this statement? Describe. Metals are good conductor of electricity because they have free electrons in their outermost shell, and the moving of electron through the what? Conductor is the electricity. That's why here you can see metals are good conductor of electricity because they have free electrons in their outermost shell. Now, how can you prove this statement? Describe. For this, how you can describe? Now, metals are good conductor of electricity. Why they are, already we have understood. And now how you can prove this? To prove this, what we will do? We will take one bulb. We will take one bulb. We will join it with the wire, and then we will join the cell also. And like this, we will leave this space here. We will take small wires of iron, copper. You can take any other thing like iron, copper. You can take wool. You can take wood stick, a small wood stick. Now what you do? You join. You first make it like this, and you all arrange it like this. And after that, you first take a small wire of iron and join these both ends. What you will find? The bulb is glowing. Bulb is glowing. That means iron is the conductor of electricity. Now you take the copper wire and again connect it. You will find that it is glowing. That means copper is also good conductor of electricity. Now you take one wool, a small wool piece, and join the both end here again. What you will find? That the bulb is not glowing. The bulb is not glowing, that means it is non-conductor of electricity. You take one small matchstick, wood, which is made up of wood, matchstick. You join both the end over here. Again you will find the bulb is not glowing. So this proves that the metals, iron and copper, are good conductor of electricity, while the wood and wood stick, it is non-metal, it is bad conductor of electricity. So you explain this in this way. You can hear that metals are good conductor of electricity. And how can you prove this? You will describe it, and in this way we can prove it that metals are good conductor of electricity. Now justify the statement that metal has high melting point and boiling point. We have to justify the statement that melting point and boiling point high. Justify the statement that metal have high melting point and boiling point. Some metal melting point and boiling point is given here. Magnesium, aluminum and copper are metals. The melting point of magnesium is 650 degrees Celsius, aluminum is 660 degrees Celsius, copper is 1083 degrees Celsius, while their boiling points of magnesium is 1107 degrees Celsius, aluminum is 2467 degrees Celsius, copper boiling point is 2567 degrees Celsius. Why their melting point and boiling point is high? We have to justify this statement. We have to write the reason that due to the strong attracting force between atoms of molecule, the metals are strong and hard, and they have high melting point and boiling point. So this is the answer of this question, that justify the statement that metals have high melting point and boiling point. Write any three chemical property of the metals with an example of each. You can write that chemical property of metals. You can say that metals when react with metal plus acid, this is giving what? Salt and plus hydrogen gas. Okay, one you write this one. Give an example like zinc when react with HCl, it give ZnCl2 and plus hydrogen gas. Okay, so it is giving this salt and plus hydrogen gas. Like this, some more example you can write. For example, one metal when burned in air, then it is giving metallic oxide. That, for example, you can say that when the magnesium ribbon is burned in air, then it is giving MgO. This is magnesium oxide. What is this? This is magnesium oxide. So third one, any of the example you can give, that metal when react with sulfate of copper, copper and iron, means it reacts with the metallic sulfate. It gives what? It gives salt and plus copper. For example, you can see that iron when react with CuSO4, this is sulfate of copper. Then here what happened? This is salt and this one is metal. Metal is reacting with this. Now here one thing we have to take care while writing the example, that iron is more reactive, then it will displace this copper. Already I have said in that video, explained in that video, you can see the video. FeSO4 and plus copper is given out. But if this reaction is opposite, it will not give anything, because copper is less reactive than iron, it cannot displace the iron. So here you write, this is the third chemical property, that when the very reactive metal react with the salt of less reactive metal, it displaces the metals. This is also a property of metal, and in this way you can explain the answer of this question. Now next is 7 number question, that copper can be coated on the surface of iron but not on silver, because iron is very reactive metal. It reacts with the oxygen. Iron reacts with the oxygen and water and it gets rusted. It is making reddish powder. But Ag, that is the silver, it is not very reactive. It is very less reactive. That is why it is not getting rusted, that it is not needed to be coated. That's why the iron is coated but silver is not coated. You have to explain and write it like this. You can write the reaction also. You can write the reaction and explain it. Okay. The next one is 8 number. Mention any 3 diseases caused by the deficiency of zinc in the human body. In the human body, if there is deficiency of zinc, it can cause diarrhea, low energy, infertility, slow wound healing. And like this, you have written many in the, when I have explained the chapter, you can see that video, there you will get more. But here only 3 it is asking, so you can write any of the 3. Cause diarrhea, low energy, infertility. The next question is, what is the role of sodium and potassium ion in the human body? Describe. Actually, what is the role of sodium and potassium ion? Sodium ion and potassium ion that help in transmission of electric impulse. For this, you have already, I have written it there, and again I am showing you here. You have to explain from that video that how it is rapid flow of sodium potassium ion on the cell surface membrane of axon, which is helping in transmission of the electric impulse. Impulse are transmitted by very brief change in the distribution of the sodium and potassium ion on the surface. Now it is resting potential, then what happens? Sodium ion constantly move out of the membrane and potassium inside the membrane. And if it is action potential, then on gaining the stimuli, sodium ion moves inside the membrane. And this much if you will explain, your answer will be completed. Now Write adverse effect that can caused by the mercury and lead in the human body. In the human body, if there is if you are mercury and lead is getting inside the human body, it has very bad effect. And if mercury causes depression, heart attack, memory loss, eating, etc. And lead affects the brain of the children, causes anemia and causes hypertension, and such type of effects are on the human body by the mercury and the lead. So like this, we have discussed some questions from this book, and if you have any more question, you want to know the answer, or you are not getting the answer according to the videos, then you can comment it in the comment section, then I will answer the question. So in this video, only this much. In the next video, I will discuss some questions from some gases.